Hello, this is Sarah Braasch. Welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be part 5 of my account of what occurred on May 8th, 2018 during the now infamous living or napping while black incident at Yale. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So the female Yale police officer asked me to tell her what happened while we stood in the interior room of the 12th floor common room. I told her how I had entered the space and saw an unidentifiable sleeping human form entirely obscured by a blanket. I told her that I had no idea if this person was a man or a woman or the race or identity or sex of this person. I told her how I had repeatedly asked the woman who emerged from the blanket if she was a resident or a student. I told her how I had informed the woman that she was not allowed to camp out in that room nor use it as a hotel room. I told the female police officer that I had no idea who this person was and that I had never seen her before. Then I told the female Yale police officer how this woman had made statements to me that made me believe that she was not only one of the persons who had been terrorizing me in my isolated dorm room that evening, but also most likely one of the persons who had been involved in the February 24th incident and who had been terrorizing me for months. Then the female Yale police officer asked me what happened on and after February 24th, 2018. I told her that it was a long story and that the persons involved in the February 24th incident thought I was a racist, but that I'm not, and that I would never, ever engage in racist behavior. Then the female Yale police officer received a communication over her radio. It was someone confirming the identity of the woman whom I had encountered. I can confirm that the name which was given to the female police officer was not the name that the woman apparently chooses to use. I understand that this is why it took longer than usual to confirm her name and identity as a Yale graduate student and resident of the Hall of Graduate Studies. Then I told the female Yale police officer that I believed that the woman and the other persons who had been terrorizing me that evening were trying to provoke an incident and that they had staged a trap for me. The female Yale police officer then told me that she was going to head down to the 5th floor to speak to the other Yale police officers and the woman whom I had encountered. The female Yale police officer told me to go back to my dorm room and to wait for her there. She said that she would return to speak with me in a little while. As we exited the 12th floor common room, I said to the female Yale police officer, "Oh, I have to operate the elevator for you so that you can get down to the 5th floor." I opened the elevator door for the female Yale police officer when it arrived after having called it. And talk about more strange timing, there was a male Yale police officer, a different male Yale police officer in the elevator when it arrived. He gave me the most withering glare that when I opened the door, and I immediately became worried. He just had a very hostile manner towards me. And I hadn't even spoken to him yet. To the best of my memory, the female officer told him that she was headed down to the 5th floor, and the newly arrived male officer told her that he would accompany her. I sent them down to the 5th floor using my resident key to operate the elevator. I returned to my dorm room. The Yale police officers were gone for some time. I wasn't keeping track. But I took advantage of the time to send additional emails to Provost Spangler, Provost Smith, Yale Housing, Yale Police Officer Grace Schenkel, with whom I had filed my police reports, and Yale Police Department Chief Ronell Higgins, to let them all know what had occurred and why I had felt compelled to call the non-emergency helpline of the Yale Campus Police Department. So, any claim that either the Yale administration or the Yale campus police didn't know exactly what had happened and why I had called the Yale campus police, as I had been repeatedly instructed to do for any reason whatsoever, is false. Sometime later, I wasn't keeping track, I heard a knock on my door. It was all of the Yale police officers. I stood in the threshold of my dorm room. Okay, I'll stop there for this part 5 of my account of what happened on May 8th. Thank you so much for spending a few moments with me.